Hello everyone and welcome to Newegg TV. My name is Paul and today I'm going to be doing an overview of this new video card. This is the Sapphire Toxic Radeon HD 7970 GHz Edition. Let's start off with some of the features on the box. This is a special video card from Sapphire. It is designed almost from the ground up as far as the design of the card, so it's non-reference. And if you've been following AMD's Radeon HD 7000 series of GPUs, they originally launched the 7970, and the code name for the entire family of GPUs is Southern Islands, and that is all the cards based on the 28 nanometer GCN manufacturing process. The 7970, when it first launched, was codenamed Tahiti XT. This is the GHz edition, so it's new silicon. It's sort of a upgrade of the Tahiti XT GPU, so it's Tahiti XT2. And those are manufacturer reference spec'd to run at least 1 gigahertz for the GPU core clock. The Tahiti XT2 has 4.3 billion transistors, 2048 stream processors, and then this one is overclocked even beyond that. So apart from the GPU, you also have the memory, and that is a total of 6 gigabytes of GDDR5 memory that runs at 6,000 megahertz effective memory clock. So you get a huge memory frame buffer in this video card. You also get some other features from Sapphire as well as from AMD. I'm going to go over some of them down here. So you get dual fans on the custom cooling solution. You get a dual GPU BIOS that you can switch between for backup if you're going to be doing overclocking. Of course, all the 7000 series video cards are PCI Express Gen 3 compliant. You get Displayport and HDMI out that are both capable of 4K resolutions. AMD app acceleration, AMD Eyefinity 2.0 to run multiple monitors from the same video card. There's the aforementioned 28 nanometer manufacturing process. And then since this is the special card from Sapphire, you get the Lethal Power Suite, which is sort of some attention to detail with the design of the card and the power delivery. You get Lethal Boost, which is an overclocking button. You also get their custom cooling solution, which uses a vapor chamber in the actual heatsink and fan assembly. Now here's some information here just about the total design of the card. If you guys will bear with me, I'm going to read most of it. It's powered by the 7970 GCN architecture. DirectX 11 has never looked this good. The 7970 Toxic Edition features 6 gigabytes of overclocked 384-bit GDDR5 memory, Sapphire Blue Power Plus, powered by 8-phase digital power, a sophisticated integration of digital power IC, direct FET, and the new Black Diamond 4 heatsink choke on a high-density 12-layer PCB, onboard overclock button, LED power phase and temperature indicators, and the VaporX cooling. If that's not enough for the outside of the box, then, well, I don't know what you're going to do. So let's look inside the box now and see what comes with the card. So here is the accessories. You have, well, the video card, of course. We'll come back to that. You have a 1.8 meter HDMI cable that's included, so nice little bonus there to help you plug in via HDMI if that's how you're going to be connecting. A couple power adapters here. These are both Molex to 8-pin PCI Express power adapters. These are 8-pin, which means they each provide are capable of providing up to 150 watts each. That's 150 plus 150 plus 75 watts from the PCI Express bus, which means just the card alone is going to consume a maximum of 375 watts. But bear in mind, Sapphire is recommending a minimum 750 watt power supply for this video card. That's to include 750 watts for the entire system, I should say. You also have a mini DisplayPort to active dual link DVI adapter there, so that's nice. It is an active adapter, it says active right on there. You also have a mini DisplayPort to standard DisplayPort adapter, and I really like that they've dropped this in there because I find that far too many cards have mini DisplayPort outs but don't come with the adapter, and well, that makes it much easier to use. You also have the ubiquitous DVI to 15-pin D-sub analog out, so if you're using an older monitor, you can use that. I don't recommend it, but hey, maybe some people do actually use those. You also have a Crossfire Bridge. So this card is, of course, capable of CrossFireX, and you can use that bridge in with a compatible motherboard to set up CrossFireX if you're going to go with a couple of these. You also have the driver and software installation disk. Generally best to download the latest drivers from the AMD website or the Sapphire website, or download the latest software from the Sapphire website. For instance, this comes with the Sapphire Tricks software, which is software-based GPU overclocking, but you get that as well. Next up, the video card. And here's the video card, and if you guys can tell, I'm starting off with the measurement here because these are kind of hard to line up. So measured from the bracket here, I'm showing just about 11 inches to the end of the actual shroud here. The PCB doesn't extend quite as far. That only goes up to about maybe 10.5 inches, maybe a little bit past 10.5. So as long as you have a little bit more than 11 inches of space in your case, you should be able to fit this video card. Speaking of the video card, there's sort of a better look at it. As you can see, they've used some heat pipes to transfer the heat that's generated by the video card up into the aluminum fins to provide heat dissipation and keep the card cool, because this is a fully custom cooling solution that they have designed here. Now, apart from the cooling solution, you'll notice some other features. There's sort of this blue area here. I initially thought that might light up, but I've done a quick plug-in test of this one, and it does not light up. However, the Sapphire logo over here does light up. If I flip it over like that, you can see it would be right set up. This is kind of the view that you'd have in most computer cases with the video card installed, just like so. So you can see they've also provided a back plate on here that provides some additional protection for the components on the back, as well as some additional cooling, as it does help to disperse some of that heat. Looking at from this side, you can see two included 90mm fans right there. They both have a Toxic logo on them. And what those are going to do is direct air downwards towards the video card, across those aluminum fins, and basically it's going to disperse the heat from the aluminum fins. It's also going to provide some airflow over the components that are beneath the fins. So if you look at it from the side here, for example, under here you have a lot of the power delivery hardware, and that does tend to heat up. That's part of the direct FET technology they're mentioning, which is essentially the process of applying a heat sink directly to a MOSFET, and that's going to provide some additional cooling for that. So there is a vapor chamber that's at the center here beneath the main cooling solution, and that is going to be providing direct contact to the GPU. You have 4 heat pipes here, 2 larger, 2 smaller, that are distributing the heat. 2 go across right here at the center, 2 more are farther out here at the edges, so that's going to disperse all of that. Make sure your card stays nice and cool, especially if you're going to be making use of this little button, which is kind of hidden right up there. There, you can see I pushed it. What that is the lethal boost button. So let's talk a little bit about the actual clock speeds of this video card, because it is overclocked. Apart from being the GHz edition right out of the box, the stock clock is 1050 megahertz, which is an overclock from the standard GHz edition 7970. And then you also have Power Tune Dynamic Boost, which is going to actually boost up your GPU clock speeds if the environment permits, if the card isn't too hot, and that will get it up to 1100 megahertz. Now, if you are going to make use of that Sapphire button right there, that is the lethal boost button, as mentioned, and that will take your core clock to 1100 megahertz or 1200 megahertz by way of the Power Tune Dynamic Boost. So you're going to be able to, out of the box, by pushing that button, get this card up to 1200 megahertz. Also overclocks the memory, so it gets your memory, all 6 gigabytes of memory, up to 6400 megahertz effective clock. The button also affects your fan profile as well as the Power Tune technology to make sure it all stays within operating parameters that are acceptable, so you're not going to actually damage your hardware or anything like that by going with the overclocks. So that will increase the fan speed if necessary, as well as make sure that you're not providing too much power to the card in order to get everything running at those speeds. Let's see, what else am I forgetting? Here's the PCB. Again, 12-layer PCB design, which is sort of the flat area here everything's attached to, and that provides enough lanes for all the traces running to the GPU as well as to the memory everywhere else. And then let's see, we also need to talk about our video connections, because you do have an extra one here. So you have a couple dual-link DVI connectors right there. You have HDMI, which is 1.4 compatible, and you have two mini display ports right here. And again, the HDMI and the display ports are all 4K capable, so 4096 by 2160 resolution. Chances are you don't have a monitor that can do that resolution yet. If you do, please let me know where you got it. But what this card really is sort of geared towards, well, is enthusiast gamers for one thing, but also with a 6 gigabyte memory frame buffer. In order to actually make use of that, you're probably going to need to be playing either the highest end games and gaming engines possible, or you're going to be going with high resolution monitor, or more specifically, and for instance, an Infinity display. So triple 1080 monitors, for example, is actually going to be making use of that memory frame buffer. So that is part of why, well, it's got Infinity, of course, as well as the capability of supporting multiple monitors like that. But if you are getting this card, think about getting a nice high-end monitor with it, or maybe 3. Finally, I wanted to point out the power connectors right here. Again, you do need 2 8-pin PCI Express power connectors, and again, minimum 750 watt power supply for the card and your entire system. And make sure you plug those in, otherwise the card won't work. Now, I wanted to show you guys the Sapphire logo lighting up, so I'm going to go plug this in real quick. Here's a quick look with the card plugged in and the lights turned off. As you can see, the sort of light blue or white Sapphire logo, which glows when the card is on. Then around just above it, you can see there is a green LED. There's actually a bank of those that will light up as the power is actually delivered to the card. And that's going to wrap it up for this Sapphire Toxic Video Card, featuring the custom cooling solution, 6GB frame buffer, factory overclock, and of course the AMD Radeon HD 7970 GHz Edition GPU. I'm Paul with Newegg TV. If you enjoyed today's video, please head over to our Newegg YouTube channel, where you can find more tech videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.